Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome to Babble with Bronies. I am your host. My name is Everlasting Joy, and along with me, of course, my good co-workers, Twilight is Magic, and Mr. Ben. We want to thank y'all for coming by today. Yeah, we'll get to all the good stuff here shortly, but I'm not going to dive in right now, folks. So, we've got a lot of things, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time. Something I do want to point out that's interesting, folks. We have 5 videos this week, and that's about half of our total art. So we're setting some records here today too. But pointless facts aside, obviously I'm just going to point out the big issue, or the big thing, I guess the big promotion, I should say. Yes, we're only 6 days away from the season 4 premiere, and yes, who else is psyched? We, obviously, Brony State will be showing the live airing. It can be found on Saturday, November 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard American Time. So that's Greenwich Mean Time -5. Stop on by if live showings are your thing. If not, of course, you can always find the recording at a different time. Reminder, we will show a rerun of the aired episode after Euro Night. So if you missed the live showing, for whatever reason, you can obviously, like I said, find the recording, the re-showing of it after the Euro Night on Saturday. Speaking of Brony State, I'll just give you the movies for this week, the week of November 22nd and 23rd, since we're on the subject. The A movie is Shaun of the Dead. The first Pony episode is Secret of My Excess. The B movie is Vampires Suck. And Pony 2 is It's About Time. So stop on by on Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the main night, the movie night. And we will also be showing an encore on Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, the 23rd. One other thing in the news, folks. I got this last night. There is a bash going on Saturday as well. Yeah, we've got a lot of season 4 related things to talk about here. This Brony Bash I got from Toxic Mario last night. I don't know why I said that. I apologize, Tox. Long story short, I'm not going to go over much of it, but the main thing that is important is the Brony Bash stream will be held on November 23rd at noon. I'm sorry, 11 p.m. 11 o'clock in the morning, USA Eastern Standard Time. It will consist of the streaming, which would put them an hour off, but I'm not going there. They'll be showcasting fan-made content, a live Q&A with special guests within the fandom, up-to-tier information on upcoming community projects, and riveting commentary and entertaining bonus events. If some after party is your thing, guys, check it out. Now, before anyone is questioning where this falls under a conflict of interest, the fact that the timing is off is the reason I can get away with this. But I digress. Anyway, like I said, if you're into this, if you're into it, knock yourself out. Check out the website. That does it for our news, at least news. Do have some comic news for us. The micro comic number 9 on Spike is out. Obviously, if I could find a different spot, I would. But anyway, find your comic fix here. I haven't picked it up yet, but plan to, of course, one day. I have been reading on the comics, folks, and they are worth your time. I will say that. Noose. You want me to do some kind of Austrian Arnold accent? The news. Anyway, stereotypes aside, check it out if comics are your thing. And like I said, I do highly recommend them. And let's see, what else do I have? That's it for the news, folks. So, question, art or music first? Oh, I didn't catch that one, Matt the Shadow Man. But yeah, if you want to throw a link up, I'd appreciate it. One art, two music. I'm not counting yours, Big Law. I hate it when people do that. Three music. Two art. Three. This one's going down to the wire, folks. 6, 7. I think everyone's voted, so I'm going to call it here, folks. Art. Let me get her set up. Thanks, Matt the Shadow Man, by the way. All right. I hope he is here. It says he is, but he could be just a bot. I'm also checking to see who is here really quickly. So I apologize for wasting your time. I'll wait on that one. Twy, do you want to go first, or do you want me to wait a little bit? Okay. Then why don't we start with this one? This one I saw not that long ago, but I didn't show it because of the interview last week. And I thought I'd show this one. This one is titled Amorous Cadence and Shining Armor by Casey Day. Yeah, it's probably pretty easy to see why this one's up on the show, folks. I saw this one and I just fell in love with not only the form of the ponies, but the posing. I love this, and I love the scenery too. Very serene, very calm, but very cute and touching at the same time. Now that you mentioned that, Mr. Ben, yeah. There's the link. Ewa. All right, we will move on here. could I show? I don't see him here, so I'll wait. That's a comic. I'll say that for a little later. Ooh, I'll go with this one. This one is titled Autumn Blossom by Carliger Carl. Been a while since we've shown his work, but it finally came. This one, I didn't need much convincing to get this one put on the show. Ignore everything about this picture, folks. The thing that draws me the most to this one is the wind effect on her mane. This is high-level detailing, and that is... I am just still blown away by this. No pun intended. But, Carl, you did a fantastic job of the effects here. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Matt. And moving along. Nittany Discord, are you here? Because I'll be showing something concerning you here, and I figure you're going to want to be here when I show it. As such, Nittany Discord, are you here? But before we get to that one, I want to show this one, folks. This was a cosplay I saw, and this one, I saw it and I just said, I have to put this one on. This is Twilight Sparkle's Grand Galloping Gala outfit by Jackie CL whatever. Take a good look at this, folks. I want to quote something from her. I had to design this dress first because it was originally worn by a pony. I'm so proud of it because it was my first time doing a dress like this and it turned out really decent. End quote. No, Jackie, it didn't turn out decent. It turned out brilliant. This is a fantastically well done piece. And like I said, there's a reason I took one look at this and wanted this put on the show, because you did a fantastic job with this. She has some other pictures worth checking out in regards to this outfit, folks. Some close-ups and alternate angles. So, again, check them out. What I really like about this in particular is of all things, the coloring on the dress. She did a good job matching the colors, and it creates a really nice pop to it. All right, let's move on. This is what I hate about waiting on people, folks. It's always, I'm going to show their work, and then they show up. So I'm going to show some stuff by Alasso here, and if Nittany does not show up, then, well, he'll show up later, of course. So I'm going to start with this one. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Anyway, this first one by Alasso, I have two of them, is titled Let It Fly. What I love most about this pick, outside of the lighting, folks, is Scootaloo's expression. He did a magnificent job with just getting the sense of awe and wonder. He captured the moment perfectly. If it was a lasso, like the rope, I'd be calling it a lasso. But anyway, I did not give you the link. All right. Yeah, Knit, before I go on, obviously I already just stated this, or just told you this. The timing was just bad. And that was because of the interview last week. When I have an interview, it's really tricky to put things in, especially things where I might have an audience member to who might want to comment on things. So oftentimes it's just better if I save them for another week than to it's better if I save it for another week, like I'm going to do, than to really go try and mess up the interview. So, why am I bringing Knit into this, folks? He commissioned a lasso not too long ago to do his OC in an anthro style. Let's see if there was anything in the just anthro version of Nittany Tiger's OC in a pretty dress. He's the cutest. End quote. I'm just going to kind of sit here and let this speak for itself. However, Knit, if you have anything to say, now would be the time to say it. For those of you who don't know, it is an inside joke, and I'm not going to explain it because I don't have much evidence on it. But if Knit wants to explain it, then he can explain it. Good water. Uh, yeah, actually, I guess that would be it. Nittany Discord. Ah, so the circle is now the circle. I mean, complete. And there's that. Actually, that's really cute, Ned. I like that. I like dressing my OC up. No, 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 Mr. Ben. The circle is now the circle. All right, let's move on, folks. Okay. Okay, we'll go with this one. This one is titled Fluttershy in the Sunset Forest by Reno Kim. Yeah, the obvious one here, folks. I love this lighting and, of course, this anime-esque style he did. And absolutely gorgeous. And I especially like the sunbeam effects. It creates a really nice frame, lines, and gives a sense of an even brighter picture. Very good job on that. Holy crap! That's got to be an Academy record. Z-Link. Pretty full. All right, let's move on. No, I'm not going there, you two. Still not here. I don't think. Oh yeah, I think he didn't say he would be here. Anyway, let's go with this next one by Assassin Monkey, titled Earth Pony Sniper Mare. You guys probably saw this one if you watch him, which I highly recommend you do. I won't go into too much detail concerning the description here, but as a matter of fact, I don't think there's really anything relevant. I'm going to ignore a lot of things here, and I'm going to just say this. This is designed for a pony. Thank you, Assassin Monkey. Someone finally gets it. I'm just going to say this, folks. Something that I do find a bit strange with not only the show, but even in Fanonverse, is the fact that a lot of devices are designed around human hands. When, of course, ponies have hooves. Now, I subscribe to the notion of Gulliver's Travels idea of the Hoyan Hum-Hums who can thread a needle with hooves, but I digress. However, this makes perfect sense from just a practical using standpoint. Why would they, be trying to hold a gun the way, especially a sniper rifle, the way we do, when they could design something like this that would perfectly suit their body? Obviously, yeah, that's true, Rainbow Crash, but I'm talking about non-unicorn types. Like this one here. Like I said, Matt, I subscribe to the Gulliver's Travels notion where their hooves are operated by magnets or something, but I just like the fact that he took the design of this into account. Oh, really? You were discussing this, Twilight is Magic? Yeah, I bring the magnets up, and of course, where do you guys go? But you get the point. But that was a gross motor skill there, Retro Cheerily. That holding a gun and firing it is a fine motor skill, and that's my argument. And certainly on the arms would work, but maybe for a small arm. I don't know if I sent it off to you, but I'll do that. Let's just move on, folks. All right. All right. Why don't we go with Tim's work here? This one is titled Faraway Mysteries by Twilight is Magic. So, Tim, before I ask you, of course, what do you have to say about it? And obviously, I'll just say what I like it. I think the biggest thing that I like about this is the fact that it came from out of nowhere. I did not expect any of this from you, but I sat here looking at it and I just went, holy crap. In a good way, of course. Something that does catch my eye on the piece, qua the piece, is the eye flow movement. You did a really nice job with keeping that cloud, with the swirling cloud going to the unicorn, or the alicorn in this case. You know, that was not accidental. That was really darn good. What would you say was the best thing about this? I bet. Anything you want to say lastly about this piece before we move on, Tim? Whatever it was, you did a darn good job on it. Well, as I said, I think you did a darn good job with it. All right, let's move on, folks. I'm going to finish up with this comic here. Titled I Can't Read It by Invisible Guy Ponyman. A letter from Princess Celestia? And a book? Let's see what this is. Twilight, my most faithful student, I'm sending you this magic book in order for you to protect it from me. For me. But there is something important for you to know. No matter what happens, you should not read this book. Just keep it safe. Nothing more. Signed, Princess Celestia. I can't read it. Just watch it? Okay. I can do this. You have no idea Twilight is magic. You really don't. So much so to the point that I'm actually trying to get her voice down. I really am. I can't read it. 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 We'll see how long this lasts. Yeah, insert your SpongeBob point here, folks. I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. Dark 92 Enigma. It was never meant for the world of the living. All right. Let's move on. Probably spent more time on that than I care to. And finally, folks, we'll wrap up the art with this.
All right,
Hello?
I got it. Yeah, I'm here.
Tox?
Yo, what's up?
Hey. We're on to your bit.
Oh, excellent. Cool. All right. I got time. If you hear any background noise, because I'm over at a big family party thing for the game.
Understood. So tell us about Full Strength here.
Well, okay. I don't have the picture in front of me, but I can describe it. That was the third of the CMC DBZ pictures I did. So
Sure.
that one was, in my opinion, my favorite one that I've worked on so far.
What was that reason? I'm sorry.
It was my favorite one that I worked on so far, and I think it came out the best out of all of them so far.
What was it that made this one stick out amongst your other CMC ones even?
I think the effect, and I put a lot more effort. Not saying I didn't put any more effort in the others, but it's more like I just like how this one came out. I just like the colors on it. I mean, you can see on it, it's just very, very bright.
Mm-hmm. Tell us.
And,
Are you still there?
no, I was gonna say that's the one. That's why I like it. It's because the colors came out perfectly in it.
Tell us about the posing. I want everyone to hear this.
Oh boy, how to describe it? Let's see. You could say it's not so much a flying pose; it's more like a jump pose.
Mm-hmm.
But I angle it so it's almost like a crossover between I don't. It's a cross between a Gohan attack and a Vegeta attack.
Mm-hmm.
I just meshed them two together and just made it into like a wacky pose. But I will say this: if you look at the pose overall, it looks kind of simple, but at the same time, no. That I had so much trouble trying to work on that.
What was the worst part, posing wise?
The legs. I don't know why I kept working on it for I remember I spent 2 nights on trying to just do the line art on that, and I could never get the legs to look right. And then I tinkered with it some more, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is fine. This is the way it's supposed to go. I did it, and it's all by trial and error when I do those.
Sure. Anything else you want to say about this?
No, overall, it's just, I did get a tweet back from Ian Corlett, who is actually Claire Corlett's father, who voices Claire Corlett voices Sweetie Belle. Mm-hmm. So I got a retweet from his father saying, "Hey, that's cool," and stuff like that. I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." I guess but I was very, very, very respectable to the guy. But that's just something I didn't know if you guys knew or anybody in the chat knew, is that both Claire Colette's father used to voice on DBZ on the Ocean Dubs, and he was quite surprised when he saw that picture. He was like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Well,
Nice.
I didn't do it for you per se, or your daughter. I just did it because I was just doing it because I'm doing them."
I do have a bit of an off-colored question here.
Oh, okay,
Um,
sure.
a fellow meteorologist is quick comment on the ongoing tornado outbreak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been watching it.
Anything
I
to say about it in the
No, but if you anybody's watching the NFL games, they shut down the Chicago Bears and Baltimore Ravens game for about for 2 hours because they had a tornado that it actually was a confirmed tornado that moved south of the south city of Chicago, about
dang?
30 miles south of the city. So I was
Oof.
like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Depends on
But
your
yeah, no,
perspective.
yeah, but no, that's just the picture overall about what that is. It's the DVC Sweetie Belle, and up next is Babseed.
Awesome.
Looking amazing. I'm not gonna lie, this might be the best liner. If I say my Sweetie Belle is my personal favorite, the Babseed that I worked on, I've already line arted it. It's already colored and stuff like that. But it is so polished. It is probably one of the best line art jobs I've ever done.
Awesome. Look
So yeah.
forward to showing it.
All right. Yep. All right. Yep. Okay.
Anything else?
So yeah. No, that's about it.
All right.
I think I got everything.
Have fun. Have fun at the game there.
All right. No problem.
Later.
All right. Yep. Thanks. All right, thanks. And I'll just catch everybody later tonight.
Sounds good.
All right. Yep. All right. Later.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Mario. And that. Then let's move on to videos, folks. Oh. Do you want a song first or a trailer first, folks? We've got 2 trailers, 2 songs, and parody. I'll save the parody one for a little bit later, but I am interested if you guys are trailer. Well, it seems pretty darn unanimous, folks. Trailer. All right. We'll go with this one by Episode Null, titled My Little Pony, Days of Ponies Past.
What's the last thing you remember? I had a glimpse into the past. You're going to have to do for me what I once did for you. You'll need me as well. Side by side to end this war before it ever begins.
So, I wake up in my younger body, and then what?
Find me, convince me, all of this. It's going to take the 2 of us.
And where do I find you?
A different path, a darker path. Logan, I was a very different man. Lead me. Guide me. Be patient with me.
Patience isn't my strongest suit. I don't want your suffering. I don't want your future.
Please. We need you to hope again.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode Null's My Little Pony, Days of Ponies Past. We'll go with this next one. We'll go with this next one by a new guy, Dynamite Grizzly, titled Sapphire A Go-Go.
Call me Sapphire. Sapphire Show!
I just love these related videos, folks. Anyway, YouTube's bad algorithm aside, Dynamite Grizzly's Sapphire a Go-Go. And I'm going to show... Wow, I am off today. And I'm going to go with this next one by our good friend Source Rabbit Zero, titled What's Up with Ponies.
Yo.
Hello, Shorty. What are you doing?
Nothing. Sitting here watching the game, smoking some bud.
Are you all alone?
What's up?
What's that? What the? Who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone. What's up?
What's that?
Yo, Duque, pick up the phone. Yo.
What's that?
What you doing, son?
Nothing. Just chilling. Killing.
True.
What's Up by Source Rabbit Zero. Wasabi! Anyway, let's move on, folks. Let's go with this next one, folks, titled Philly's Lullaby, featuring MG Uni New by Arvianth. I showed his work not that long ago. He was the that Frost Queen one. And again, I'm sorry if I cannot pronounce your name. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, Philly's Lullaby, featuring MG Uni New by Arvianth. And last on our videos, folks, and last of the content. So, yeah, we're going to end on time. There's a first in a while. This one is titled Equestria Salvation by Hero Strain.
We've been fighting a long time. We are outnumbered by machines. Humans have a strength that cannot be measured. This is John Connor. If you're listening to this, you are the Resistance. I thought I knew already. Something has changed. Skynet is taking human prisoners. Replicating human tissue.
Let's see what we've got here.
And in this future, I don't know that we can win this war.
This thing is something we've never seen before.
My name is Marcus Wright.
You think you're human?
I am human.
Where are you?
I don't know.
I know he's not the enemy.
If we stay the course, we are dead! We are all dead!
I'm the only hope you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, Equestria Salvation by Hero Strain. And that's it for content, folks. So let's get to the discussion. Before we do, I have to set a lot of rules and whatnot. So I'm just going to kind of wait and just kind of letting some of the comments die out from you guys here. Okay, yes. First and foremost, like I said, I need to set a few rules. One, do not. There will be nothing. We'll be walking a fine line between what is constituted as spoilers and not spoilers. We will try to stick to the not spoiler side of that line as best as we can. However, there will be, since we'll be talking predictions in Season 4, which has not aired as of yet, like I said, we're walking a very fine line. So, if you do not want to talk about any spoilers at all, even fake prediction type spoilers that may never come to pass, You have been warned, and now is the time to back off. But before you do, just let me finish. 2, if this one goes to the Brony State chat, no spoiler talk of any sort can be discussed in that room. If you wish to discuss spoilers with us, or potentials, predictions, and whatnots, you must come to the Vinyl Scratch room, and I will link it one last time before we get started. 3, if you're going to discuss with us here on Babble with Bronies, like I said, you cannot link to spoilers, and you cannot talk about actual spoilers. So do not link to anything, not even pictures, not even fake stuff. Do not link to anything. This is all just discussion. And I think I've covered my ground here. Let's see. No links, no. Everything in terms of discussion in the Vinyl Scratch room here must be purely predictions. And I think there's only one point I'm going to bring up that has that's going to blur that line of spoiler versus non-spoiler. So, and I'm trying to keep my terms consistent here, folks. I apologize. So like I said, no spoiler talk. Everything you say here is just prediction. If you do link or discuss actual spoilers, like for instance, you post the season 4 episode 1 and 2 synopsis, that is a ban. That's subject to the punishment scale. I believe that is it. So, this is your chance, folks. If you don't want to talk about spoilers and do not want anything even remotely close to them, now is the time to leave. I will link into the room, as I said. What was it else I was going to say? One last thing concerning Twilicorn. Oh yeah, I remember now. I thought about this, folks. We can do it in either order. Do you want to talk about Twilicorn first and then do season 4 stuff? Or do you want to start with season 4 stuff and move on to Twilicorn? When you hear my questions, you'll understand. Looks like I'm getting more for Twilicorn. Let's see here. 1, 2, I'm going to take yours as 3, Twilight is Magic. 4, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, we're going to start with Twilicorn then, folks. Now, before I go on, I just want to say, why am I doing Twilicorn? Because when we actually get to Magical Mystery Cure, folks, it's going to be at least a year and a half before we get there. But this is such rich discussion topic before season 4 airs that I actually want to use this as, look at what you said back then, and when we get to Magical Mystery Cure, now look at what you said. So, Twilicorn, folks, let's talk about her. Question: how many? Simply put, how many of you are for it and how many of you are against it? And of course, why? We'll get there, Laura. We'll get there. Just hold off on that for now. Yes, it's just Twilicorn. We're saving the episode discussion for when we actually get to the episode, folks. So, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay, Iwa. It's cold in here, folks. I like that answer, Marine Aviator. You guys are pretty much taking the argument out of my mouth, but I don't hate that. I've never hated that. Mostly because I always seem to somehow ignore it and state it again, but I digress. Adamantium Rage. Retro Cheerily. I know you said Alicorn Rage, but I just quickly defaulted to that. Right there, Iwa. That was the last of it. The first part, anyway. I'm actually surprised most of... There's another question I'm going to follow up here shortly, but I'm surprised many of you have been stating what you've been stating. All of you... I haven't seen a person say that they are wholly against her, which is... Yeah, that was... Given the size of our audience here, 53, which is... I think that has to be a new record, a record high, so... But it's surprising. I'll throw you my opinion for poops and giggles here, folks. Yeah, surprise, had to join you guys in on your, on agreement that I'm for her. As a matter of fact, I'm probably one of the most pro, Twilicorn fans you'll find. Why? I'm going to refer you to this old picture I once showed by Harwicks, titled, and yes, I'll link it for you, just because. A princess here before us. Behold, behold. It's right at the end of the first paragraph here. There's a little bit more to it, but I'm going to read that last sentence, and then I'm going to read his elaboration. Quote, pulling the sword out of the stone is often just the end of the first act. And jumping back here. Quote, at first, I was surprised they didn't save Twilight's ascension to princesshood for the series finale. But on reflection, I recall that it wasn't all that uncommon for the farm boy to be made king halfway through a series after all. It usually is just the point in which he has to start learning how to be a good king and maybe get ready to slay a god or fulfill an ancient prophecy or something. End quote. And there's my argument, folks. There's, of course, the image for you. Where was I? Oh, yes. The so for all of you saying that, you fear that plot points and whatnot have been destroyed, I refer you to what I just said about Harwick saying about slaying a god or giant or some other monumental task. Just kind of watching the chat go, folks. I think we're diverting off to moot points here, folks. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. A lot of you were giving your opinions on, or at least you were giving. I was once at this point, but now I'm here. So I'll ask for everyone, what is your? Since a lot of you seem to have either come around to it to Twilight at the very least. What was your original view, and how did you come to this new one? That's probably a discussion for when we get to the episode Spade Curium. Hold that thought, Lore. This too is actually very surprising that I guess maybe it shouldn't be, but yeah, I have to side also with the guys who are saying it never bothered me. It never, my views did not change. At the very least, I was also indifferent. I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then I remembered why I got into the show in the first place. I said, I want to see where these characters go. I want to see how they develop. I want to see where they go, how they change, etc. When I realized this was the nothing more than just that, and what Harwick said, you had me saying, go for it, right there. Here's something I do want to bring up and just point out to everyone. Everyone who's saying, I want to wait and see where this goes, they fear change, and most of you weren't, but I just want to bring up the topic really quickly of Equestria girls. Why? Given that comes after the fact, and given the way Twilight was characterized, I think that should be a clue to everyone that not much is going to change, at least in terms of Twilight in particular. Lots of things, while certainly have evolved, I don't think they're going to evolve dramatically or change terribly. Not to the point of the show being unrecognizable. Matt. Methinks that's going to be a case of we'll get there when we get there, Tovler. I could be wrong. Fair enough for you, Inosuke. But yeah, Equestria girls. I'll clarify for that. Methinks we're going to, MMC is going to be a two-part BwB episode. It's yeah, for 30 minutes, for a 30-minute episode, that one's going to be packed with discussion points, but we'll get there when we get there, of course. Here's a question for everyone. Actually, never mind. I'm just going to kind of let some more discussion flow out. You guys, like I said, this is kind of a knock the first domino over and it just falls from there. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the storm to come here now, folks. The chat's gone quiet, and it's going to open up any minute now. And there it is. Retro Cheerily, that's actually discussed in a comic, which we'll get to one day, but look for the first micro comic on Twilight Sparkle, and you'll find the answer to that. Ewa. people have been itching to get into the fan reaction. So this one is probably just going to be this is probably just going to be more angry outputs and ranting, folks. But you know what? Sometimes that is needed. So, fan reaction to the fandom. What do you guys have to say about that? Dark 92 Enigma. Right on, Matt. Right on. Again, we'll get to Magical Mystery Cure when we get there, folks. Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you there, Rain Shadow. Obviously, of course, I want to share a little something that I've shared with a select few others before, but I think it's worth sharing with everyone here. You want to know something about statistics, people? Statistics is an interesting branch of mathematics. It's of course designed to describe things like even something like what people think about something. In this case, we'll just use Twilight as our example here. Statistics are, of course, ultimately designed to say, if I were to take a small group of people, just random people, I could then extrapolate that information gathered to everyone, whether it be a population of, say, just the bronies or a population of the entire world, whatever it might be, doesn't matter. As such, here's an interesting thought. The bronies themselves can be thought of as a sample of the entirety of humanity. And certainly that is true. I mean, the only difference between us and them is just our taste in television shows. Where am I going with this? To criticize this fandom is to also criticize humanity. And I'm not saying that as a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that is what it is. So when we get these people who throw death threats at the show staff, we get people who rush to their support, we get people who are neutral, we get people who are whatever it might be. The point I'm making is, it's an interesting concept when you begin to realize that there is no difference between this fandom, any other fandom, or any other of humanity that you can think of. So of course we're going to get people who throw death threats at the show staff. Of course we're going to get people who throw everything at everyone. You're going to get every single possibility because you have a sampling of every single human on this planet. I'm not saying it's good or bad that we have them. All I'm saying is that from a statistical standpoint, we've got everyone covered. Just as every fandom has bad people, Spade, Curium. Obviously, of course, differences will exist. That's just goes without saying. I'm, of course, speaking on the general, broad level. Right there, Sumi. Right there. And there's a reason I call it vocal minority syndrome. And yeah, Marine Aviator, Lore, everyone who's throwing their lines in here, you got it. Take care, Venher. It was interesting. I'll share a quick revelation here with you guys. It was interesting when I realized a friend told me this, that, yeah, the silent majority. That never ever crossed my mind because most of what I saw was, and not even just Twilight, I'm talking anything in this fandom. So there is an interesting thing into what Twilight is Magic is saying. I think we're going to be starting to divert to just fandom criticisms as a whole, but you know what? I think we crossed that line a long time ago, folks. So you know what? I'll open it up. I'll answer your question, Matt. And the way I see it is kind of falls back on what we've discussed before, just you and me. There will always be followers. There will always be particularly blind followers. That's going to happen. Whether that's good or bad is, of course, I guess it depends on the perspective. Because what are they preaching is the question. But the fact that the sheep are not thinking about what they're doing is dangerous. It's bad. I'll say flat out that that's bad. I shouldn't laugh at that, Mr. Ben, but that last part in particular, running and screaming bloody murder, was kind of funny because I can just picture it. Right there, Lore. Right on the money. Actually, Spade, Curium, that was my... I was just going to ask that question. So you took the words right out of my mouth. When we get to the Derpy episode, folks, in 9 episodes, 9 pony episodes, not necessarily 9 BwB episodes, here's a question for you. We could spend the rest of this episode and then probably the next 5, 6, 7 episodes, however long it took, discussing all of the bad things about this fandom. We could discuss the general or the specific. So here's a question for you. What do you find so good about this fandom? Why are you still in it? Iwa. Betrayal? That is very true, Matt. Yeah, I would go on a limb and say that. That, Twilight is Magic, right there. There'll always be those people, Spade Curium. Always. Yeah, I realize we've gotten way off topic, my brony side, but that's these discussion episodes in a nutshell. Can't say I do much, but you know what the worst part about that statement is, Lore? It's true. It's interesting. I bring this up because, as I said, we could sit here until we're all blue in the face, raging and hating on the fandom, and yet you guys have produced just as much, if not more, topics about why you like it here. I want to say it's fascinating, but on one level, and just one. It's the fact that that passion is still there. Toast. I never gave you my point, and I'll give him here in a second. Oh, very funny, Mr. Ben. Y'all know what a toast is, darn it. It's not even the passion of the rage, Lore. It's the passion. It's the passion is still there in spite of what should only be described as a counter force. There should be a countering force. You know, again, all that stuff that we talked about, all the hate. You would almost begin to think that would turn anyone off from this fandom, whether they be newbies or oldies. But you're still here, and I find that fascinating. I sort of have Dark 92 Enigma. I'm not going to go there because I really don't like to criticize specific people on here. But actually, that was it. I don't like to criticize specific people on here. That's just, I don't like that. Or at least negatively criticize. I'll say that. Good point, Lore. Good point. All right, folks. I think we're now just starting to really branch off into oddball stuff here. So why don't we move on to the season 4 stuff? So, since we're going there, Brony State Chat, now's the time to mute the stream or leave or whatever you need to so that you don't hear any of this. At the very least, nothing will be shown, so you don't have to leave necessarily. You can just mute the stream or pause it. But everyone else, this is your chance now. So, if you don't want to discuss any even potential spoilers or predictions or anything concerning Season 4, you have been warned, and this is your last chance. So, obviously, let's start with the most general question. What do you hope to see out of Season 4? And I'm not meaning like a specific episode, like, I really hope they do a Discord episode, or I really hope Luna sings, or something like that. No, I'm talking about just the broadest, most general aspect you can think of. Like, I'll just give you mine. I want to see more character progression. And I mean, see 65,353. Anyway, where was I? The thing I want to see the most out of it is character progression. Why? Well, I refer you to why I said I was here in the first place. I want to see these characters grow, and more than anything in the world, that's what I want to see, is just more character progression. No, I'm not going there, Matt. Not with you anyway. Not the way you're asking. Spade Curium. Sadly, yeah. While it's true in the sense of necessity, Twilight is magic, I'm looking more forward to the surprising, the unexpected, and even if not surprising, the grand. That's the stuff I'm looking most forward to. I know, Matt. I know. Right there, yo. Yes. Toffler. But that's because one of them got diabetes. Agreed, Rain Shadow. Diabetes. You guys are throwing some really interesting things out here. I'm liking these. Howdy, Hero Strain. I think a lot of this is tying into episodes everyone wants to see as well. So I want to ask that question. Here's a bit of a more interesting question for everyone. Do you guys, and this is mostly for those who were here for in the season 1 wrap-up we did, you remember how I said describe the episode or the whole season in one word? And that was the theme we went with in terms of discussing it and such. What do you think the theme of this season will be? Expansions, yeah, expansions, growth, yeah, all that. Yeah, I have to agree with you guys on that one in the sense of expansion. I would almost say new horizons as well. And the reason behind this kind of harkens back to what Harwick said. Oftentimes pulling the sword from the stone is just the end of the first act. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah. You could think of these as kind of just that, the beginning of the second act, wherein kind of a start over. I almost want to say a start over or a redo. Not necessarily a redo, just, you know that saying, what is a happy ending but a new beginning? Just that. We have this new beginning and we're going into new territory. We're going off into, there's going to be slight differences and all that stuff. I know it's kind of a sketchy one and I had this drawn out better in my head, but there's my idea. Yeah, something like that, Thunderbolt. I do see a lot of things being dropped, I honestly have a quick question for you guys. I'm just reading the off topic we're going here. I do see some things being dropped. One of them, of course, being the biggest thing, the letters. Do you guys think the letter writing will be dropped this season? This is actually something that I really liked from season 3 was the fact that the letters were dropped so much. Don't get me wrong, I do like them, and they are basically about as much as part of this. They're about as part of the episode as they are the characters. But what's really great about dropping the letters the way they have is now they don't have to spend, the 3-5 minutes at the end of the they don't have to spend the 3 to 5 minutes at the end of the episode summarizing it there. That being said, yeah, everyone's saying, as a Marine aviator said, rarer but not dropped. I don't see it dropped completely, but I do see it something like season 3, not, or rare, but not absent. Right there, Twilight is magic. Right there. Never thought about that, Mr. Ben. Before we get on to season 3 and all that fun jazz, let's just divert back to my last question for you guys here. Do you think season 4 will be a good season or a bad season? And why? Work with me here, Twilight is magic. I always have that face on my brony side. Well, that'll always be the case, Spade Curium. Always. Here's a slightly kind of a sub question for you guys. And you guys are kind of hitting it on the head here. We're tiptoeing around both questions. I actually and I should have asked this to you. I'm sorry. How do you think the fandom itself will take season 4? Iwa. Obviously, of course, I'm at the Shadow Man, but I'm asking you guys. I can't ask, random so-and-so on whatever. The fandom will complain like always. Ewa, that's a discussion for another day. I think personally that the fandom will take this one pretty well, actually. Why? This kind of ties into my whole to the what I said about New Horizons starting over and all that fun stuff. Certainly, of course, those who have the biggest hatred for the way the series has gone, and I'm not talking about season 3. I'm talking about since season 1 and beyond. They're gone. I would be willing to bet good money that if this season, if they haven't, how do I want to put this? If that last nail in the coffin hasn't been hammered in by now, i.e., they haven't left, then one wonders why they're still here, but that's another story entirely. I think overall, given a lot of what's happened in between season 3 and into season 4 here, I think it'll help stabilize a lot of things. Again, because we're going into New Horizons. So that's why I do think that the fandom will take this one a lot better than anything. That was something someone pointed out to me a long time ago, Matt the Shadow Man, and yeah, right there, right? And yeah, that is true, Midnight Fire. Take care, Lore. Dark 92 Enigma. I'm letting Twilight speak. Twilight is magic. Speak his piece. Rainbow Crash. For those of you who are wondering what the question was, I'm just letting Twilight is Magic speak his piece. And it looks like he's over with. So let's wrap this up, folks. Where was it I was going to say? Oh, yeah. Next week, okay. Yeah, he's wrapping it up here. I'm just letting him wrap it up. Anyway, next week is still up for grabs. I'm hoping for an interview. Don't know if I will. If not, we'll be moving to episode 8, season 2, episode 8, The Mysterious Mare Duel. We'll discuss and have fun with that one. In the meantime, like I said, it's up for grabs at this point. Anyway, for myself, Everlasting Joy, and my coworkers, Twilight is Magic, and Mr. Ben, we want to thank everyone for coming, especially the new people who are here. We especially appreciate you guys. Other than that, farewell, folks.